Well, I'm back. I've had a chance to take a picture of the painting, which on your phone, and it gives you a good idea of what you might need to correct. And I've noticed that again, my eyes don't match, so I may kind of bring this eye in and down a little, and maybe soften this line, soften the Filstrom. I did wash over and soften that. I'll look at that again. Her neck looked a little thick, so I thinned her neck down with just a little yellow. And then you didn't see that because my camera tripod kind of slid. So we're going to start again. But I have pulled up my reference. I'm not looking at her very much, just for a little bit of shadow. Again, you could start with a colored reference. I will actually show you the reference. This is the reference. See? Doesn't look at all like, and it's not supposed to. I really just got it for the pose and a couple of ideas. So I don't really use reference pictures for the exact. They never turn out so exactly because I don't want them to. So I don't usually show them. I wanted to maybe detail up her fingers here, her hand a bit. So that was kind of what I was going to do. And that might be all I want to do on that. See, just give it just a little bit more detail. Just so it doesn't look quite so unfinished, but you don't want it to be too detailed either, because then it loses its freshness. So these last little details, I have to be careful. I'm quite a perfectionist. And so I would want to go in and, put all the eyelashes and do all that kind of stuff. But then she would look a little, well, she just wouldn't look as fresh. So at this point, some of you may be saying, oh, stop, you're going to ruin her. It looks good how it is. And that could be true. I could possibly, realistically, totally ruin her. But that's just kind of part of the experience. I'm going to soften this just a little. Sorry with my ums. This is not a natural habitat for me. It really isn't. I'm using kind of a grayish bluish for the whites of your eyes, because your eyes really aren't that white. My reference, it's truly washed out and white, so I'm having to kind of imagine. And her eyes still may be a little off, and that's okay. That's part of the imperfection of this picture, and kind of the washiness and kind of the scatteredness. But now I'm just trying to have a little bit more of the finish. And a lot of people struggle with this step, and I do still. Do I leave this white? Do I fill that in? Do you want to see some of the paper through? These are all the questions I'm kind of asking myself at this point. So maybe I'm just going to soften them down with just a little bit of light flesh tone, so you don't see the white. Trying not to get too fussy. I know she's got one eyebrow higher than the other. I can see that, but maybe that's just part of her quirkiness. Right now, I do like what I did to the eye. But do I just want to soften that a little? Give it a little bit more color right there. I don't know. Now, to kind of do the whites of her eyes, I'm a little nervous to go, totally like white, even though in the picture it shows a big shine. So I think I'm going to do kind of a watered down flesh. And I'm just going to do a kind of like that. So I just did a quick kind of comma, which I think that handled that well, because the rest of her is just kind of a quick, brushy, streaky comma. Do I want to just kind of go in here and highlight a little bit of her hand? Again, if you remember my reference, she's quite washed out. I lost it. iPad. It doesn't stay on very long. So, I'm thinking this is in the shade. I'm thinking this one's kind of in the light a little bit. So, thinking the back part of her hand is in the shade. Again, one of my favorite brushes, the number 5. This is a low Cornell round brush. So maybe I'll come in here. Maybe we want to like totally take that down, change that shape up a little bit, because it seemed to me like it was kind of a harsh, it's drawing too much attention right there. So we're going to pretend like it's just kind of under all this scraggly hair. And honestly, I think she might be done. Adding too many details really might take away from the freshness and the kind of wild scatterness, little trip that we took. The higher brow is bugging me a tad. So again, these are just watery layers. Still there, but it took it down a little bit. Sorry, my stomach's growling if you can hear it. I'm not hungry. I just got some gurgles. I don't know why. All right. I like the brushiness of this, and I really like the unfinished, and even the quirkiness of the the mistake. So I'm really liking the detail. A little bit of detail I put in there is about how much detail she has in her face. Squint now. Do I need to soften anything else? One more layer on that. This is the fleshy kind of medium color that I'm using. Quite watered down at this point, since my palette's pretty dry. So there's going to be a little shadow under her nose, so I feel comfortable with leaving that. This is a little bit darker than that lightest flesh tone. Adding a subtle, Again, maybe I'm getting too fidgety here. Maybe it's time to stop. I'm feeling like she's coming close to a stop. Let's see. Fix the eye shape. The right eye, did that. Soften the Maelstrom shadow. I did the magenta detail on the hand. I slimmed the neck down. You guys didn't see me do that. That was my first video. That was kind of a oops. I just took a little bit of the colors that I'm using for her hair and slimmed it down a little bit. This is kind of the hard point, guys. This is the hard point of when to know when to stop, when it's going to stop being fresh. I've always been told to make interesting shapes. And not to leave 1 square inch like this whole area. But at this point, I don't know if I'd call this a sketch. She looks kind of finished to me, but maybe it is more of a sketch. Do I like that part now? No, I don't know if I like that part. So maybe the sun is shining a little bit more on the hand. Maybe I just blend it down a bit. There we go. Just blend it down a little bit with the... Okay, now one of the more difficult parts, coming up with some sort of title for her. And yeah, I think I'm going to start doing these. I still got quite a bit of paint left on my palette, so I might do another one of these. It was quite refreshing, really fun, and I learned a lot. And hopefully you guys learned something. I think my takeaway is a lot of people want to learn how to paint, and watching other people is awesome, but now you just got to do it. Buy some mixed media paint, buy a couple tubes of acrylics or watercolor. This is acrylic. I don't do watercolor. I've done watercolor, and I have watercolors and gouache, and oils, but acrylic is my favorite medium, because you can wash, you can layer, you can go over, you can scrape, and when it's done, you have a nice permanent quick drying. I love the quick drying aspect of it, quick drying product. So I'm a huge fan of acrylics. Just start with a small palette. Start with a few colors, because you can mix. If you're scared of mixing, then just buy a bunch of craft paints if you want. I started with craft paints first, and they're wonderful. I mean, I love my professional, my goldens now, but I still have basics. I still have, tubes of Liquitex basics, and these are great. When I'm done, I'm probably not going to buy them unless I'm in love with some of the colors, but I would say my largest are Liquitex Artist Colors and Golden Artist Colors. But I started with acrylics, just tubes of, oh, I don't even know if I have any craft paint up here. I took them all downstairs. Here's one. Okay. I don't even know if Josania's, I don't know if she has any more. But just go get you some craft paints. I don't have any up here right now, but they're down in my craft room. But I just want to encourage y'all just to start and don't have a plan. Just play. This is gonna be what I'm gonna do right now. I don't have a plan. I'm just playing. And the more you play, the better you'll get at it. All right. Well, this was fun. I'm gonna maybe start another one. See you guys. I'm probably gonna put this on a YouTube channel. I'm gonna start it. I haven't done that yet. This will be up on a YouTube channel. I don't know how to do the fancy graphics that say subscribe, but if I figure that out, subscribe and just kind of paint along with me. No plan, just play.